Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for Pick a Card. This is my Pick a Card channel. It's really cute because I've been getting messages saying, oh Varush, I think somebody is uploading your videos. No, this is my channel. I've had it for a couple years now, and I'm just going to dedicate it to Pick a Card because the Pick a Card readings get really lost in the big channel amid all the monthlies and yearly videos. So we're going to have like a special space to do Pick a Card. So hey girl, hey. Okay, so we're going to have 5 different options. This is a continuation of the other reading that I did on the main channel. This is more of a clarifier as to the energy that is going on. I am going to link the numbers, so 1 to 1, 2 to 2 from the other reading, but feel free to mix and match and just ignore the summary that I'm about to do for every number here, and just kind of get the karmic message for the cards here. So this is going to be a little bit simpler than my last karmic reading because there's more options. This is a timeless reading, and hopefully it gives you some clarity on the other reading, or maybe a more kind of like a karmic look as to what happened. So we have 5 options, as I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All my cards are linked in the description at my Amazon shop, so go check them out if you are interested. So why don't we start with 1? So we're taking a look at number 1 first. I'm going to just summarize the cards that we got on the other channel. We had the Lovers, right? And then we had the Acceptance or Sagittarian card. We had the Ego, which is the Tower. So there's a looming decision, a looming situation involving something that you care deeply about. And so it's a matter of time before you make a choice. And I think that someone understood that about your circumstance and was in some way kind of seeing it happen, and in some way brought that to light, brought the fact that there would be changes to light. You are given some time to adjust. One person is given time to adjust and meditate and to figure out exactly what they're going to do with the situation, or what they want to kind of achieve. Okay, so that was number 1. If you want to look at the deep reading, go to number 1 linked in the description in the first video. Okay, so for the karmic reading, I only have 4 cards from Klimt, and then I have an oracle card. So why don't we take a look at your tarot cards first? Your first message is the Hanged Man. So something's definitely been stuck for a while, or like persistent. There was a learning lesson, someone had to still learn something. They were waiting for a situation to pass. This could be not necessarily their learning lesson. This could be concerning like a how do you say, a group of people slash, you know, a whole society thing. So maybe they're in a time when some things were not permitted. Maybe currently some things they want to do are not permitted, and they're held back. Maybe technology hasn't caught up to what they want. The next card is another tower, maybe this is a tower. This is the Strength card, which is the card of Leo, but another trump card. So we have the Hanged Man and the Leo card. There's definitely some huge energies here. All the cards that I'm getting for number 1 are trump cards, which denote like big life events. Let's take a look at the next card. We have the 8 of Pentacles, which is Sun in Virgo. Okay, so there's work to be done. Suspension of a situation. There were prior commitments, wanting to move forward on things, but having responsibilities that you need to finish up. There's things that you need to finish up before you move forward, or somebody moves forward. And we have the Knave of Wands. So somebody's getting ready to make a huge life change, a huge life decision. And I feel like the real reason why it's delayed is that they still have to learn something before they fully move things along. I feel like maybe there is a bit of a block on their desire, and this goes deep. I think that the reason that they had such passion for what they had versus moving forward. In some way, that situation represented for them what they're letting go of, what this person's letting go of. That situation represented for them some way, a greater sense of completion in life than they've ever felt before. In fact, this is a person who may have never had a certain degree of fulfillment in their life, and in that situation they finally felt fulfilled. So that's why it's becoming a tower, because they're not ready to move forward, or they're really hesitant to move forward because they're afraid about what's next, that they feel like it's an anomaly that they found themselves in a situation like that. So it's almost like getting what you need after a lifetime of not getting it. And so I feel like that's why they're putting their heels in. So we have listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said, but you need to listen with a loving heart. So this is maybe advice to, like, somebody needs to give patience in a situation. This is why this person is one of the people is very slow to in some way make a change, right? So you guys can see. So one person is very slow to make a change because in some way this is such a unique thing in their life. And so they are, the change would represent a time in that they would, the change and the way to move forward represents them moving into the unknown, and their past was not necessarily so fulfilling as it is now. So they feel a little worried that the current circumstances are not going to be replicated in their opportunities in the future. And so they are hesitant, but they will be making a change. They will be moving forward in a situation. They will be deliberating and moving ahead with things towards a good outcome. I feel like there is a suspension of a situation, but I think soon there's a lot of empathy that is needed in this situation. And the karmic significance is that I think that in this situation, it's actually one of the first times that two people are connecting. So it's actually a very new karmic situation, if that makes sense. It's a new karmic situation in which people are moving forward. So it's the first time in any timeline that they met. And so I think that rather than trying to understand how things are happening or why, it has to, listening with the heart and understanding each other with the heart is the best way to reconcile and be tolerant of each other's energy. So if one person is not doing what they need to do, rather than judging them, I think it's because it's such a new experience. So it's like you don't know each other yet on any timeline, in any past life, future life instance. And so it's hard to sort of comprehend or understand what drives a person. It's fresh and it's new. So rather than trying to judge it, really observe and pay attention and kind of observe, pay attention, and allow things to move forward. Allow that person, one person needs to make that choice, and judging them about it is not necessarily the solution. That's what comes through I feel like judging them about it is going to write a lot of karma. I think that if you judge this person about the way that they're doing things, then I feel like that will initiate a lot of back and forth karma, new timelines. I mean, if they need to happen, they need to happen. But I feel like the main energy here is this person making a decision, getting the opportunity to make a decision and moving ahead with their life, right? Okay, so I hope that helps. And make sure to like and comment if you're just watching this number 1. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll talk to you soon. Number 2, let's take a look at your reading, and if you're interested, number 2 is linked down below for the main reading that I did on the main channel. So if you want to go and review that, I would recommend seeing that reading first. The cards from that reading are the Two of Trees, which is the Two of Pentacles, the Strength card, okay, the Force, the Strength, Ace of Hearts, which is love, a new beginning, the Community card, okay, and then we have Alignment, okay, Heaven on Earth, okay, and Dance of the Planets. So this was a situation in which basically the pace of the situation was being affected by outside forces, possibly astrological transits or just timing issues. And I feel like there's one person who's taking the lead in a situation and pushing it forward into a new love opportunity that will yield a wonderful outcome. I love this card so much, Heaven on Earth. It will yield a very beautiful outcome. But in the process of doing so, there's a little bit of insecurity because one person is putting the brakes on things and the other person is kind of moving ahead quite quickly. Let's take a look at your cards. We have number 2, Two of Cups. You loved each other from the start. There's no question about it. And then we have the High Priestess. 2 twos, even with a trump, represents a soulmate connection. I mean, we're all soulmates, but this is like a special soulmate interaction or connection. I feel as though someone heard someone speak from the heart and it made them aware. So I think the person who is sort of putting things on the back burner is the High Priestess. She in some way says, I have other things to address. But this person, this Leo / Strength person, heard her say something, and I think that spoke to this person's heart, and that connection was made. It made it very clear that they needed to be together. And then there was the Six of Pentacles. So this has a lot to do with, like I said, there's things getting in the way. There's things getting in the way of forming a relationship. I think they're timeline issues. We had this card called the Dance of Planets in the main reading. So I feel like they're timeline issues. However, it's like timeline issues versus alignment. It's like the time is now. You can't wait. One person's from a more assertive family, which is the Community here. So they're more used to being more kind of like take a risk, challenge life. One person is from a reserved family. Here is the next message. And this can be a social group, cultural group, whatever. Seven of Swords. I feel like navigating it's very important that these people, and this is through past lives, they've navigated an interesting physical dynamic between the two of them. So in terms of like, it's very hard to put money and energy into situations when the other person is not putting money in. But like I'm saying, I feel like the motivation, why the physical time, it doesn't have to be money, it can be time, presence, whatever. It can be very awkward if one person's doing all the work and the other person's not, especially when it's in the physical realm, right? And so I think that you're walking a real fine line here, and I think that this is a fine line you've walked in the past. So whoever is on what side, it feels really intense because it has happened in past lives. It is something, there was a connection, and there was always this reservation, like because of other things. It was always a timing issue versus an alignment issue, So alignment means like the time, it's properly aligned to this, but the timing is kind of weird or difficult to enter into the relationship. And then we have show simple acts of kindness. This is also true if you're already in a relationship. Your relationship may have hit like this weird space where you can't seem to find time for each other in each other's schedules, something like that. Show simple acts of kindness. A simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. So it's like whatever side you're on, expressing your love and sympathy to each other through kindness, expressing, presence and awareness throwing positivity at the situation. That's how I would describe it. Regardless of where things are going, you keep on putting positivity in. That feeling of love, the Two of Cups is the love card, right? That feeling of love is very resonant, and I feel like someone was being transparent, which is the High Priestess, and she spoke from her heart, and when that person heard her speak from her heart, they knew, and so she was practicing love by speaking from her heart. She could be a man, so don't worry about that. But she's personified as a female in the tarot. So the High Priestess spoke from her heart. And so, and that's an expression of love. And so in that expression of love, she took a risk, and someone saw that, and it resonated for them really deep, past life deep, and that made them initiate, but she in some way backed off, and now it's kind of a trepidatious situation in which they're trying to balance out giving and taking. Like maybe this person sent a bunch of text messages. That could be an expression of the Six of Pentacles. And the other person's like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm busy. I'm busy in exams, or I'm busy with work, I have kids, whatever. So whatever it is, it's gotten awkward, I would say, at worst. At worst, it's awkward. But the feeling's there. She knows, she just needs to align. And so this person is a little pushy, but I think in this, the best thing is simple acts of kindness and welcoming, and not being ashamed if there's like micro rejections going on, like I can't talk right now or something. Just don't take it all to heart if you find yourself in this position, and it is karmic, and you're sort of being affected by past lives, and the resonance and the kind of deep memory is there about past lives and connections, and about things that are happening in past lives, and you're interacting with the past life in some way. So it's like that's what's motivating her to be hesitant. That's what makes you want to grip onto it a bit more, because it happened in the past life in some other arrangement where somebody was trying to make something happen. It's a memory. Past lives are a memory, and so it's a type of memory that's really hard for us to remember accurately, so we act it out. And so the best thing in this situation is to throw positivity into it, and just reaffirm your good intentions, your good nature towards this. The feeling that this is really an alignment right now that you need to pursue, and that's okay. Just don't overstep people's boundaries. That's the only, and this is where acts of kindness really play in, because that's when you can kind of be like, oh, here is me being nice to you. I don't want anything in return. Well, you do, but like you do it in a safe way, right? Like in a nice way, so that that person can come around when it's their time. Conversely, this is the way that that other person may be reaching out towards you. So if there's someone doing a lot of nice things for you, suddenly maybe that's an expression of that. Okay? So next, we're going to look at number 3. Hi, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Let's take a look at your cards. Now, I'm going to give you guys a summary of your reading from the other channel. So go over there if you're interested in reading number 3. Some of you guys have mixed and matched, and that's okay, but just disregard the summary. This is for the number 3 option on the main channel. So you got 3 tarot cards. You got the 9 of Hearts, which is wish fulfillment, okay? And then you got the 8 of Hearts, which is codependency. And then you had the 8 of Stars, which is Mercury and Sagittarius. Very quick communication about love. Now, if you want me to explain this, go to the other channel, and I suggest you watch that video first, just to see what I'm talking about. There's a card called Protection, okay? And there's You Are the Universe. That's a nice card. And Her Grace. And the card Love. Hey girl, hey. Okay, very nice card. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the karmic significance. In summary, what was going on is that someone was switching between a lifestyle that was sort of superficial and unhealthy towards a lifestyle that had more meaning in a new direction, in which there was a reciprocal relationship between two people that centered around protection, protecting each other, motivating each other to do better. It's through altruism and through like good intentions that they were elevating each other and helping each other along. Let's take a look at our cards. We have the Two of Pentacles. So I feel like, yeah, it's, you know, things in some way. That was my froggy that fell over. Here we go. He can hang out with us here. So we have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles represents that there was, you know, things were going really slow for this person. And I'll refer to him and her, but it can be any gender partnership. So things were going very slow for someone because they were running out of steam, living life in an inauthentic way, whether they were in a relationship that was not right for them or a lifestyle that was not right for them. They were working harder and harder to keep it going, even though it wasn't the right situation. The next card is the King of Wands, a Sag, a Leo, or Aries. I'll cover so you can see him. We have Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I think this person has a lot of pride. They also have a lot of access to resources, so they don't necessarily have to challenge themselves. There's a lot of resources sometimes can cover things up, like a really good foundation can cover up a lot, you know, Shape Tape, or, you know, expensive things can cover up things about our reality to give us more anonymity, give us more privacy, right? So this person is a person of means. They have been covering up the true reality of their circumstances. The reality is that they've been going up a hill in a situation, and they've been having to put more and more effort to make things work, because what they have been living in is a bit of a lie. And this could be a man or a woman. Here is the next message. We have the Magician. Somebody came into their life who saw this, and in some way they shook things up. I think that they put this person in line with this person. So this is someone who kind of set them up, slash who initiated this. It was in order to save this person from a life of drinking, a life of partying, a life of relationships that were superficial and not sound. Here is the next message. We have the Last Judgment. Didn't I say that about this reading? Go back. I was like, oh, it's like a Last Judgment situation. So we have Last Judgment, Pluto. There's a definitive circumstance. It's going to be an immediate, intense decision where someone realizes that they're going to elevate their life, and that the life of the past is no longer in alignment with who they are. The next message is take a chance on love. When we start to love, our lives are changed forever. So I think this already happened. I think that the moment of love had already happened between two people, and I think they're coming to terms with that at this time. And so now I think that inspiration about somebody's grace has motivated someone to come out of their shell. I think that if you are the person who feels like they are lower than their love interest, and that you have a lot of problems, a lot of baggage, and that person in some way will not like you and, you know, not want to put up with it, I think that you need to really resonate within the energy of her grace. Like, what you bring into the situation is altruism. You bring truth and honor, and, you know, you wear your experiences like a badge. You are the truth in the situation. You are the true voice of reason, and in some way you have to recognize that this other person needs you as much as you need them, even though on some level it may seem as though it's the opposite way around. But I feel like you were really set up. This is the karmic significance. Somebody saw this person living an unhealthy life, you know, not true to their desires, not true to who they were, covering everything up with makeup, covering everything up with fancy cars, whatever they were into, to shield themselves. And somebody had access to that, to the private life, and in access, they knew that this person was not living to their full potential, and they in some way shifted timelines. Maybe this was more of a magician type energy, but it could have been so much that they set you up to meet because they thought that you would be perfect together. So there's this sudden interaction that's pulling one person out of their privileged life. They're not going to lose everything, but it's more like they're coming into awareness that they've been living in a bit of disingenuine from what they wanted, and before them is the thing or the person that they truly want, and so they're going to take a chance. And there was also a level of responsibility that a person felt towards something or someone. So they felt responsibility towards the past situation. This could involve like a friend or someone else who who needed the help, and so this person was available to them in a helping capacity. It could be like a tied up guilt or responsibility towards someone, someone not allowing themselves to in some way form relationships in new directions because they felt like they had responsibility towards someone. But I think that that's being reconciled as well, also at the hands of the magician. So this person had the responsibility to take care of someone else, maybe and now they're in some way done with it, or maybe this person has now improved their life so they can let go a little bit and live more for what they truly want it's not like somebody was putting a gun to their head. It was more like it wasn't like that. It was more like they felt their primary desire of responsibility towards others superseded their own personal desire of who they wanted to be and who they wanted to be with. So this person came in their way, and so they felt it was their duty and their presence to really in some way take care of this person, to be there for this person, and that impacted their social life, that impacted their decisions. And again, there was this cover about it that in some way insulated them, but it was like pulling a boulder up a hill. It was harder and harder and heavier until such a time came as that resolved in some way and a final decision was made, and this person is now moving towards a new state of love and inspired by grace and beauty and the true things that they want. They're stepping into that fully, and I think that there is going to be an element of protection in exchange for truth and altruism. So I think that there's protection in exchange for authenticity, living an authentic life, being supported in living an authentic life. So good news. If you're confused about this, then go watch the third option on the main channel. I'll link it in the description. Pretty neat stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to comment and like. All my cards are available at the store in the description. Thank you. Bye. Okay, so now we're going to do number 4. Thanks for joining me. Welcome to my channel. Let's see. I'll summarize the reading for number 4 now, and if you are interested, then go watch the main video for a clearer definition. And then if you're not interested, then or if you chose a different number in this video than the other one, then just skip this part, but hopefully it gives you more insight. So we have the 10 of Hearts first, and then we have the 6 of Angels. All of that was clarified in that first reading. And the 7, the Chariot, which is the path. And then there was the Sacred Seed of the Heart, okay? Leaving behind a situation, sensitivity. This was more like a hermit reading. Manifestation, okay? And the Sacred Union. Nice card, eh? And especially in these colors. Ooh. Okay, so in summary, what this was all talking about was someone kind of making peace with their past and really being happy about it. So really making sure everything was fine and being really ready for a new relationship, and then coming into that relationship by being very kind of at peace with the past. This could be also true for people who are currently in relationships, and in some way somebody leaving the past in the past, coming to terms with it, finding closure, and then moving closer into union. Here are your karmic cards. So we have the Ace of Chalices. Okay, so a new relationship, new love. There's definitely this coming through for you if you chose this energy. And it's kind of proof that it's karmic. This is a 10 of Cups. This is an Ace of Cups. So you can see how the ending is turning into the new beginning. Then we have the Sun. So someone's really, really, really inspired towards the direction they're going for. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. Ooh, that's some pretty, these are, if you're wondering, if you're new to reading, the 10 of Cups and these cards are like it when it comes to love readings, especially, and also the Chariot card. Here is the next message. We have the King of Cups, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Hey girl, hey. Secondary transits in fire. So I feel like this is like the perfect scenario. Somebody's ready for love. Somebody's offering up friendship. Somebody's offering up love. There's a deep-seated connection here. There's no fear. There's no shame. This is a person who has healed their past and is come to term with the past, and now they're bringing about a sacred union, a reality in their life, and love that is resonant. Remember, this can be a man or a woman, and this is the Cancer card, so this could be the same person. It could be you if you chose this, but I feel like very strongly that there was a completion with regard to a relationship. There was no loose ends in this situation, and also in the past. This is a very blessed karmic situation. You can see the Ace of Cups, the Sun, the 10 of Pentacles, loyalty. The King of Cups is the card of the man who has an open heart, who has come to his feelings and is open and giving. And so I feel like the karmic significance of this option of number 4 has a lot to do with someone who has always, it's almost like every single time, it's almost like a timeline, to be truthful. Like, this one person left something behind. They made sure that it was okay, that the other person was okay, the other situation was okay. And then they stepped into a new path and brought into reality, manifested, right? All these good things. They were very sensitive. This is the card of sensitivity. They picked up on the idea that what they needed to do to achieve what they were trying to achieve. And so I feel like they made the right steps. This is like textbook, you know, textbook, making the right choice, going into the right path. And it's almost like in their memory, they knew they had to do these things because this person was coming in. Here's your last card. We have spend some quality time together. It's imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationships with, listening and talking to each other. So I feel like maybe the last step to this connection is in some way, when you're both ready to in some way talk, to connect. This card to me came through really strong. It was the last card I chose. And it's one of my favorite cards in all of tarot and oracles and whatnot. So beautiful. So it's like, but it was very like the touch, like make that touch real, make that like manifest that touch in some way. Now, we're not talking about crossing people's boundaries. Both people are on the same page. The reason I'm not highlighting this too much is because it's like a clean green light. You know, just perfect go ahead. You know, the love is there, emotions, you know, stability, open heart, all of those things are there. You just need to make that connection, right? And the awareness is there, and it's very kind of like, I'm giving you a high five if you chose this, because you really took care of your emotional health, and you made sure that all your past situations were in some way reconciled, or whoever's leaving situations behind, they made sure everything was, you know, fixed and kind of finished with a good energy, and now the new relationship begins. It blossoms and it's beautiful. Rah rah. So if you chose 4, you're a big winner. I know it felt like maybe more of a solitary reading at first on the other channel, but it's actually probably the one I've never really seen that much of like a perfect alignment. It's a reading with a purpose, or it's a connection with a purpose. So I hope you liked it. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and make sure to leave a comment and a like. So now we're gonna do number 5. Hey guys, thanks for joining me, and if you've watched the whole video, high five to you on that. So what we're gonna do is summarize the reading on my main channel. That's linked down below if you want to mix and match. But if you want to get more clarity on this, you can watch it there. It was the number 5 reading, right? So you guys got 3 tarot cards, the 7 of Trees, okay, my favorite card in this deck, the Page of Stars, the Page of Wands, and the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Stars, right, which is the Ace of Wands. So I think that this is in some way breaking forward in a new direction. I almost started reading it again. And then you got, but go and watch the other video. This is the sensuality reading. This is Shakti energy. And then you got the Tree of Life. And then you got the Soul Name. Okay. And then you got the Spiritual Growth. Okay. So what that meant to me, like, it felt like somebody was saving a lot of energy, a lot of money, whatever resources, towards a new beginning that has just started. Okay, so, and this new beginning, this new relationship will involve a lot of spiritual growth. It's like meeting someone. These are all cards of a deep, intimate connection. So there could be that aspect to things as well. Let me just turn off this autofocus that goes crazy on me sometimes. There we go. Okay, so we can't look at the cards up close, but we saw most of them up close, so we're good. So there's this energy of beginning a new path, a path you have saved a lot for, and now it's time to move forward. There's a deep purpose in this connection. There is a real intimate connection between people. It's like an understanding that this is the right path, this is the path that you're supposed to be on. Here is the karmic cards. So we have the Klimt Tarot. All my cards are in the description if you're interested. The 4 of Wands. So this is union. This is definitely union. And then we have the Emperor. Bang. So I don't know if this is like, this is almost like, you know, when people say they've met and then they move in together, get married next week. It's that kind of thing. We have the 7 of Pentacles again. So there's a level of really saving, and that's the karmic connection. Saving yourself, saving money, holding on until things are right. And when things are right, it's like Shakti knows, you know, like that energy knows exactly where it needs to go. Here is the next message. We have the Queen of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Secondary transits in water, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Here is the next message. We have the physical touch is important. So for some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. So it really builds on the energy from the first reading. All 4 cards are all about physical touch, caressing, and intimacy. And so I feel like in your past life, this is a partner from your past life, and you were building something in a past life together, like a home, career, whatever. And so I think that you've been waiting for this person to come back so you could continue and resume building. And I think that regardless of what your sign is, I feel like this person's coming back and you resume where you started. I think that this union will have a lot to do with financial success. I think that you may start a business together. There may be that kind of connection. It's almost like you were building an empire before, but you died because it's past lives, right? Sorry, I just don't want to use the D word too much, but And this is why it kind of springs up super fast for you in this direction. It's like boom, flowering, growing, all these good energies coming out. And that's because it's resonant to where you were so in line with this other person in the past towards building. And so now that building resumes. I know it's a little short, but that's really the gist of it. So I hope you guys get it. If you want a deeper reading, look at my reading for number 5 on the main channel. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye.